here's finally my September wrap up. I know it's been ages. It's taken me a while. As you might hear, I'm a little bit under the weather. I've been for last week or so. What I've done in October so far, I first went to a yoga retreat, which was great, and then I had a cold because someone brought a cold to the yoga retreat, and I think there was like a half of us after at the end of the retreat we started to get colds, and I was one of them. Anyway, here's my wrap up for September. So first, yeah, I know, library book, so they have put in a sticker right here. But first book is one of my childhood favorites, and it's Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. As you probably know, it's a Canadian writer. If you don't know this book, I think, well, at least if you're a book lover and you don't know this book, I think you must be living under a rock. But this was one of my favorite books as a child or as a kid or tween. Is that what they call it? Early teens. Well, I'm not quite sure how old I was. I wasn't a teenager because then there was another book that was my favorite. But this is definitely one of my childhood favorites, Anne of Green Gables. And it's the first time I actually read it in English, which was delightful. It's a fun story. Just gives me all the feels. It sometimes when you read a childhood favorite, you kind of are worried that it might not be as good as you remember it to be. But this, oh yeah, this is still good. For a lot of people, it might be like out of date. I don't know. But still, it kind of says something about the time it was written, I think. And it's really nice. And this edition has, as you can see here, an illustration. And it's Lauren Child, and she's also one of my favorite illustrators. She has done, among other things, Charlie and Lola. I think, at least in Norway, what she is most very famous for is Charlie and Lola. She's also done a lot of illustrations. She's also done People Long Stocking, which I think is really cool. So another book that I read is this. It's Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. It's actually the first Lockhart book I've read. And it's so full of action! Super full of action. I really enjoyed it. So it kind of starts at the end, which is a bit strange. But yeah, it starts at chapter 18 and then it goes backwards. And it's kind of, you think you're getting the hang of things and then things turn. Yeah, starts with this girl and you think maybe she's a spy or something. She's super tough, but is she really? So yeah, I quite enjoyed this. The reason I read this, because now I also have a life update in between all this. I read this because I was interviewing for a job. My original plan was not to get. I've been done a lot of job changing the last few years because I couldn't get a permanent job, or at least not a full-time permanent job, and that is what I need, and that's what I want. And I was interviewing, and as a part of the interview process, some of us had to do a book presentation test for 8th graders, and that's when they're about 13 years old. And this is one of the books that are presented. And guess what? I have a new job starting 1st of January. It's a bit more complicated than that, but I'm going to be a young adult librarian, and I'm really looking forward to that. That is great, isn't it? So yeah, Genuine Fraud. I really enjoyed it. Another book that I really enjoyed is this. Oh, upside down. It's After Dark, but Haruki Murakami. Haruki Murakami? Oh, my Japanese is not good at all. Sorry. Anyway, Murakami, After Dark. And it's kind of a mix of realism and surrealism, and I think this is more like what most people see as Murakami, because yeah, because this is the third book by him I've read. I read What I Talk About When I Talk About Running, I think it's called. It's got a long title, and it's kind of an autobiography as well as a book on running, because Murakami is a runner. He runs marathons. I'm not sure if he still does it, but he used to. And I read that, and I really enjoyed it. That was actually the first book by him I read, because I like to run. And yeah, so that was the first book by him I read, and I really liked it. And then I read, oh god, what was it called? East of the Border, West of the Sun, something like that. Or something not like that. Or something similar. Not sure. Anyway, so I read those two and really liked both of them. And then I picked up this, and I really enjoyed that. So I guess at the moment this is maybe one of my favorites. Yeah. And then this one, which is quite thick. It's over 500 pages. As you can see, this is a Norwegian title. It's a Norwegian translation. De som elsket by Victoria Hislop. Those Who Are Loved is the original title, but I read the Norwegian translation, and the reason for that is that it was gifted to me by the publisher, the Norwegian publisher, to give my honest opinion. So I have written a blog post on this on my Norwegian book club book blog. So I'm going to have a little bit of Norwegian in here now, sneaking in some Norwegian. I'm just going to say that to my Norwegian audience, that hvis noen av dere har lyst til å lese det som jeg har skrevet om denne boka, eller en annen bok, så kan dere gå inn på av en annen verden, ett ord, .no. Det er bloggen min. Det er en bokblogg, skriver stort sett bare om bøker. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was the message from our Norwegian viewers. So, De som elsket by Victoria Hislop, Those Who Are Loved, and I'm actually going to make a review on this. So I'm not going to say anything else. You can wait and see, because I've decided to make a review, because I haven't made a review in ages. So that's what I'm going to do. So that was my reads in September, and it's now October. Reading month so far, not great. I finished one book, and it's the 12th. Yeah, it's not going good. Well, I might finish, because I've started a lot of books. So I have quite a few current reads. Yeah. So that's it for now. I don't think I have anything else to say. So, see you later. Bye.